The breakdown you're about to watch is brought to you by We Want Picks Premium Membership. Premium membership gets you all sorts of exclusive content, early bets, fantasy tools, and betting guides. Check it out now, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. Get ahead of these betting lines and get access to all of the tools now with an optimizer. We have a DraftKings optimizer available to you at the same low price of $10 a month. That's $2.50 a week. You get all of our bets early, all of our fantasy content early. You get betting tools and now a DraftKings optimizer, DraftKings ownership, and everything you need to build now up to 150 lineups with just a few clicks. WeWantPicks.com at the top. Click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month. All right, $10 a month. You have one good week. You pay for the whole year. WeWantPicks.com at the top. Click Become a Member. And as always, if you want $50, all you need to do is go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners. Make a deposit, and I will send you $50 as a thank you. That's WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. I'll send you $50. Next up, at UFC 279, we have the co-main event of the evening. Frankly, it's kind of a weak co-main event on a mediocre pay-per-view, if we're being honest. A lot of fun fights, should be really entertaining, but these are not needle pushers. We got Jingliang taking on Tony Ferguson, and Jingliang Li is 19-7 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, alternating wins and losses. Tony Ferguson is 25-7 overall, 1-4 in his last 5, coming off a horrible knockout. Jingliang's a very good boxer with volume and very real power. He mixes in low kicks to slow you down before sending power hands right over the top. But as solid as his striking is, he does have holes in the grappling, and he's not a complete fish out of water, but his 58% takedown defense does give his opponents a path to victory if they're worried about that power. He's coming off that incredible win over Salikov, where he absolutely flatlined him in that second round. Tony Ferguson is coming back after one of the worst knockouts we have ever seen in the UFC, and that was only 3 months ago. Go watch that knockout and say, yeah, this guy will be in a cage in 3 months. It's just, I cannot believe I can't believe the suspension was only, I don't know what it was, but I can't believe it was less than 3 months. Anyway,
right, 60 days, yeah.
I mean, that should have been a full 120. That was bad. But before that, he did look like an unstoppable force when he was on that 12-fight win streak, and that was loaded with submissions, TKOs, and he was just unbelievable. And then he hit that 4-fight losing skid. It started with Justin Gaethje, but style-wise, he is an active striker. He's got a wide array of techniques. He doesn't have a ton of power, but he breaks people with his constant pressure. He landed 104 strikes against Donald Cerrone, 115 against Anthony Pettis, and neither one of those fights saw the third round. Tony's biggest issue used to be his psyche, like the guy was a head case. At this point in his career, it's definitely his chin. And he actually looked good against Michael Chandler. He won that first round, like literally won it on all 3 judges' scorecards, and then was put out real bad. And I feel bad about this fight. I mean, Tony was a straight up, I say was a legend. He's not dead, and he still is a legend. But a few years ago,
he looks dead.
A few years ago, people were talking about Tony Ferguson beats Khabib, and they were like dead serious when they were saying it. And now he's on this 4-fight losing streak, coming off one of the worst KOs ever. Not long ago, his wife was talking about how he's losing his mind. She had a restraining order, maybe, something like that. And unfortunately for Tony, I think the sport has just taken way too much from him at this point. His turnaround is too fast after that knockout, and unless he sticks to a grappling game plan, I think he's blasted again. And you know, with that being said, he did wrestle in college, so he could do a grappling game plan. But you know, we know him; he's a warrior. He's going to go out on his shield, and unfortunately, I think he gets cracked. But listen, he won that first round against Michael Chandler, and the only reason that I'm like quote unquote positive he's going to get smoked here is because of the turnaround. If we were looking at 8 months, 9 months, a year later, it's a different breakdown. But 3 months, your brain's not better. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, especially against a guy that punches as hard as Lee. Because one of us correctly picked Lee to knock out Muslim in his last matchup, which was me. And it was simply because of all the weird feints and angles that Lee throws out before his punches that I think are just going to confuse the hell out of Tony Ferguson and give him just flashbacks, PTSD. He's going to see, like, it's going to look like Medusa is coming at him with the feints that Lee is throwing in this matchup. And that's why I picked him against Muslim, because he's not one of those guys, those power punchers that just sits and then just tries to time it. He's constantly moving, boom, pump, 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 pump. And all of a sudden, that big right hand is on you, and it's like, holy shit, where the hell did that thing come from? And that's going to give Tony all sorts of fits. Literally, after you just got knocked out, you're already going to be a little bit gun shy, but when you see all these feints coming at you, you're going to be reacting big. And it's going to be a bad situation for Tony to be in. Now, maybe at 170, Tony realizes who he is at this point, and maybe he starts relying on his wrestling. Because Tony, at his core, is a wrestler. He was a college wrestler. He's got the little tattoo. Angela, do you have the tattoo? The little wrestling tattoo?
I did not. That's the USA. What's funny about that tattoo is it's USA Wrestling, which is a brand. Like, they're an organization.
But everyone
that's
has
not. I know, because everybody that's ever wrestled
to get it tomorrow.
But down, in like Florida, it's not even USA Wrestling tournaments. They're AAU tournaments. So it's just funny that, I mean, not everywhere.
Well, they're called tournaments.
It's just funny that, but nobody has an AAU tattoo on themselves.
Well, okay. I wouldn't say that. I have a Hoop It Up and Gus Macker, by the way, 1995 Hoop It Up, Gus Macker, all-world second place, 3-on-3 basketball. You're not going to beat me 3-on-3.
That's some trash
world.
Park
Gus Macker and Hoop It Up, both up.
Trash world Indiana basketball game, all world. Go ahead.
Excuse me. Yeah, have you ever heard of Gus Macker? Have you ever heard of Hoop It Up? Yeah. Those are world-renowned organizations, and we dominated.
Continue,
we absolutely
please.
dominated. So to be honest with you guys, maybe at 170 he comes in, he starts wrestling. I don't think even if he's wrestling, I don't know if he's going to be able to take down Lee. This is just a bad matchup for him altogether. But wouldn't this just be the most Tony Ferguson thing in the world to have happen? You lose, 4 fights in a row, you just got flatlined, there's a weird scramble, and all of a sudden Tony Ferguson ends up in his just patented Darce. Even Lee was talking about in the embedded today, his Darce is like, it's crazy how fast he gets that thing in. It would be the most Tony Ferguson thing ever to win this fight. And for that reason, I didn't put any money on Lee. The odds are getting a little bit wide now, but he's still going to, it's Tony Ferguson, man. I don't know if it's out of respect that I'm not going to bet against him, but a lot of people are like, why didn't you put money on Lee? Why didn't you? But it would just be the most Tony Ferguson thing for him to win this fight, but I'm not going to pick him. I'm going with Lee.
No, you can't. And I think we'll all be rooting for Tony Ferguson because, a lot of people respect and like Jingliang Li, but I don't think there's a lot of people that are like, he's my favorite fighter. So I think a lot of people will be rooting for Tony Ferguson. I think it's passed them by. 9,000 to 7,200. Jingliang's worth that 9,000. I think he's worth that 9,000. We don't have pricing on Jalton Almeida, but he'll probably be around that price point as well. And I think the two of them are,
he's in DraftKings.
Jalton Almeida?
I thought he was. Let me see.
No, he's not. That fight's not in there.
Excuse me, sir.
Well, then they added it an hour ago.
He's 10,000.
Okay. Never in the history. They had to rewrite the code because they couldn't fit that extra zero. Anyway, I think Jingliang's worth that $9,000. Honestly, the money line odds aren't even that bad, but probably leave that alone. 65 to 60 strikes the Monkey Knife Fight strike line. What do you think?
Probably less.
Probably. Before I decide on that, I'll go back and see how many strikes Tony Ferguson landed in that first round with Chandler, because he won that round. So, curious. But 60 is high, and it
27.
Is 27 strikes or significant strikes? Strikes.
Total strikes.
Yeah. All right. It's probably less, because even at that pace, it's got to get over 2. Which I don't see that happening. I do have a bet here. I'm not going to be the shady weasel I want to be and be like, you're going to have to go to premium to check it out. I have the under on rounds. You have a bet here, but I will be a shady weasel about that. Right?
I do.
Oh, I thought you had.
Let me. Man,
You do. You texted it to me like 2 hours before this, and I posted.
Oh yeah, because I forgot the prop bets dropped today.
Yeah, they dropped.
So they started dropping prop bets for this. Yeah. So
Well,
and somebody said he had Chandler hurt. Everyone has Chandler hurt, honestly,
Yeah,
and that's why
Chandler.
that's why I want Connor to fight Chandler. That's the best matchup for him because Chandler gets dropped in every single fight. So if you're Connor, if you're watching, doing your little blow.
WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member, and you will get full access to every single one of our bets the minute we place them. Jacob literally placed the bet, texted me, and that was up for premium members within 5 minutes. And this week, we are giving away a signed Daniel Rodriguez poster to premium members. So not only do you get access to all of our bets, access to all of our picks early, a DraftKings optimizer, DraftKings ownership, DraftKings points projections, and everything else that you could ever want, we're going to give you a Daniel Rodriguez poster as well if you win the raffle. But you have to be a premium member, you have to like this video, and you have to comment on the video to enter. WeWantPicks.com. At the top, click Become a Member.